Hey guys, Radical Reggie back at you with another video, and today we are going to, of course, look at my Sega Genesis collection. I want to dedicate this video to my buddy Evlis Roa. He's been with the channel for quite a while now. Appreciate you, bro. And yeah, it's all about the NYC Breakers, man. But anyways, getting back to the video, doing this video, it brings me a lot of joy, but also some sadness because a lot of you guys don't know this probably, but I will not be doing a Sega CD or a 32X collection because I actually got rid of that stuff. The reason me getting rid of the Sega CD was just because of hardware issues with the Sega CD at the time, and I just didn't want to deal with it. So I will not be doing a Sega CD video, but I will leave a link in the description and up here somewhere to my old video showing off my Sega CD collection so you guys can see what I used to have. But anyways, going back to the Sega Genesis, I was back when I was a kid, you know, back in the 16-bit wars and everything like that. Me and my friend Gary used to argue with our other friends about which was better, Super Nintendo or Sega Genesis. I had a Super Nintendo, so I was more for the Super Nintendo at the time, and I felt like it was the better system. I loved to argue about it. You know, when it came to games like even Final Fight Streets of Rage, we would argue Final Fight is a much better game than Streets of Rage. Now, it was harder to argue between Final Fight 2 and Streets of Rage 2, of course, but we still fought the good fight the best way we could. It was not until I say a little bit into high school that I actually started to really look at the Sega Genesis differently without the bias pretty much, and I started to actually enjoy the system. And it wasn't until 10 years ago actually that I actually started collecting for it and really enjoying a lot of the titles that this system had to offer. I have to be honest, if this system had came out, I want to say when I was a teenager, like around that time, I mean, that would have been like pretty a while ago, but I would have probably chose that over the Super Nintendo, you know. So that's what I pretty much think. You know, I think the Sega Genesis was just more up my alley for games, at least at that time, being a teenager. But anyways, like I said, going into the system again, I got a lot of these games for extremely cheap before anybody really desired or wanted them. This is back in I started back in 2010. Up until 2014, I would say mostly, and a lot of these titles nobody cared about. Now a lot of these titles are probably sought after pretty much, and you know, it's just, yeah, the prices are all over the place. But anyways, getting into this video, you guys know how we do it. At the end of the video, I'll show you the full collection, but right now I'm going to start with my 10 games from the system that I really enjoy. Not necessarily my top 10, you know, but I just want to take 10 games out of the system, out of my library, and just kind of talk about them briefly with you guys. So we're going to start off with Dragoon. Dragoon, I found out about this game by chance. One of my good friends, Ty, told me about this game. He said, hey, you ever play Dragoon? I was like, nah, what is that? And he kind of explained it to me. He said, Reggie, you got to get this game. And I was like, what? So I looked it up, and I was blown away. I said, wow, this game is really cool. And I found a complete copy, I think for around 20 bucks. This was back in 2013. Now this cover I have on it is the Japanese cover, but someone made it in English pretty much. I prefer the Japanese cover. It looks a lot better than the American cover. But I have the American cover here somewhere, but I just prefer to go with this one. But it still has the manual and all that stuff, and the label still has the original labels on it. The game is really a lot of fun. It's like a game where I don't want to say it's a adventure game where you kind of it has RPG elements to it, where you level up your magic attacks and stuff like that. And basically, when you're not attacking, your meter goes up to charge. So when it's fully charged, you have stronger attacks. But as you keep draining it, it gets weaker and weaker. So you have to kind of be careful not to just hold the button and mash attacks at your enemies. Really a lot of fun. I feel like a lot of people don't know about this game. Even a Japanese version of this game I hear is really rare. So if you have the chance to play this game, definitely try out Dragoon. Next game here, Sunset Riders. Sunset Riders on the Sega Genesis feels a little bit different from the Super Nintendo arcade versions, and not in a universal way, but in a way that it's more of a kind of like a side game in a way. They changed things up just slightly in the game, so it could be like a I don't know, just like I said, just like a side game or whatever. Not a sequel or anything like that, but definitely a side game. They kind of mix things up or whatever. It's pretty cool because this version stays true to the arcade in a way that when you lose all your lives, you could continue from the same spot you died at, which the Super Nintendo version takes that away from you because they want the game to be harder because they want you to keep playing it. And if you lose all your lives in that version, you have to start from the beginning of the level. The Super Nintendo version is definitely the better version, but I do like this one a lot. This one is definitely worth getting if you have the Super Nintendo version as well. Sunset Riders, I remember seeing that 4-player arcade and everything. I didn't really play it that much. I watched other people play it. It didn't appeal to me at the time, but as time went on, I actually started to like it a lot more. So if you see this one for the Genesis, I think it's definitely something you should take a look at. A game we didn't get in America, unfortunately. We got the first one, but we didn't get the second one. The second one is really it's just freaking awesome. And that's Battle Mania 2, also known as Troubleshooter Vintage. This is pretty much a shoot 'em up to where it's like, how can I say, it's horizontal and vertical, depending on what levels you're on. You have a partner that has your back, like you shoot behind you and in front of you at the same time, or have your partner shoot in front of you for like double the attack. It's just a lot of fun in the game. I felt what would have been like really a huge hit for the Genesis if it was marketed properly, if it came to America. But luckily someone translated it in English. It's just, I think this is one of the best games on the Genesis. The music, the characters are funny, the story is cool. It's just, I think it's a good series. I can't say enough about it, but anybody in the comments, let me know if you've played this series before. I think it's just a lot of fun. Oh yeah, and of course, good old Musha. Yeah, I got lucky and got this game before it got hyped up, you know, and luckily I got it for cheap too. I didn't pay too much for it. I think I paid around about $25 for it, maybe something even less than that probably, because I usually did trade-in. But Musha is a fast-paced shoot 'em up. I like it a lot because, like I said, because of my shoot 'em ups, I like a little story in there to keep you pumped up and everything. I don't want like just no mindless shooter or whatever like that, because it gets boring and everything like that. So the story element definitely helps. And Musha has a good story to it. It's a fast-paced action. The only thing I didn't like about Musha is just that the levels seem a little bit too long sometimes. You know, sometimes you know this level should be already ending or whatever like that. But still, it's a lot of fun. I haven't even noticed any slowdown in this game. This game runs really good, and it's just all kind of awesome. I really feel that I don't think it's worth the money that it's going for, but you know, I mean, I don't think there was that many. I don't think the game sold really well, so there's probably not that many copies out there. It's definitely an early release for the system. I mean, this came out back in 1990, I believe. So yeah, this is going back. So Musha, check that one out if you are able to. Fatal Fury 2 is more of a novelty. I got the Super Nintendo version, which I think is the better version, but some people think this version is better. They could be right to certain degrees, I guess, but Fatal Fury 2 is one of my favorite fighting games of all time, pretty much. It was the first fighting game I actually beat and got good at in the arcades, and I always really wanted to have the 16-bit version. My Super Nintendo or the Genesis, well, not the Genesis, I didn't have a Genesis. Super Nintendo one was the one I wanted, and I didn't get them until years later. But the Genesis version is cool. I still think the Super Nintendo version is better, but the reason I'm putting it on this list is because it is one of my favorite fighting games of all time. Next up here we got Snow Brothers. Snow Brothers is this is pretty much the arcade version in a way, with a little story added to it. I feel like this is the best version of Snow Brothers out there. I mean, at least of the first game. I can't speak for Snow Brothers 2 because I haven't played that one. What's cool about this one is you're trying to rescue these princesses, and then when you get towards the end of the game, the Snow Brothers get kidnapped, and you have to take over as the princesses and then rescue the Snow Brothers. So it kind of changes things up. It's really cool. But you guys know how Snow Brothers plays. I mean, it's pretty simple. It kind of reminisces of a Bubble Bobble and everything like that. So this is actually a reproduction that I had made a while back, or I think not made. I got this at a convention. They were selling these and everything, so I picked this one up because I didn't even know it came out on Genesis. So if you see that one out there somehow, or you're able to get it, or the original version, check it out. Next up we have here is the Hyperstone Heist, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. You know, I'm a big fan of Turtles of Time. I really like that game, but I always was so curious about Hyperstone Heist. And Hyperstone Heist I really like. Even though it's a shorter game, the levels are a bit longer, but it has 5 levels on it. they definitely took just elements out of the Turtles in Time and just tried to make another game with it, and I think they did an okay job with it. My favorite thing about this game is that you could fight Tatsu from the movies, the first Ninja Turtle movies. He's actually a boss character in this game, and what's weird actually is that when you beat him, he actually blows up. Like a human being, he just blows up. I'm like, what the heck is going on here? So I thought that was pretty funny. No, and I think Rocksteady's in here too, as his own boss. He's kind of different. I don't really remember too much, but Tatsu, of course, I remember the most. Hyperstone Heist is a good game, but like I said, it's more of a sister version of Turtles in Time. You know, like I don't want to say nerfed down or anything like that, but it's its own good game. But I think Turtles in Time is the better game. And next up here we have Castlevania Bloodlines. Me and my buddy Jesse always like pretty much think that, well, I mean, we go back and forth about it, but we kind of think this is the best 16-bit Castlevania game in a way. I mean, I change my mind sometimes. I go back to the Super Castlevania, but then I go back to this one. This one, right now at least, I feel is the best out of the 16-bit versions of the games. I just think they did a good job on this one. And it's hard to say that too, because I mean, you go back to Super Castlevania, that's an awesome game. But Castlevania Bloodlines is awesome too, so I can't say enough about this one. I love how you can switch between it. Well, you can't switch between it, but you can choose between two characters. The level design is you can take alternate paths and everything like that, so that's kind of cool. It just, at least I remember you take alternate paths. I hope I'm right about that. Let me know in the comments because I'm trying to remember exactly. But this is a really good game, guys. So I would say definitely check this one out. And maybe I'm wrong about the alternate paths. I'm probably thinking of another game for some reason. Ugh. But anyways, if you like the old school traditional Castlevania type games, you know, this is like one of the best, best of that kind. So check this one out. Alright, next one here is a High Seas Havoc. High Seas Havoc is a total hidden gem. A lot of people that kind of looked this game over, didn't really look at it actually. They were like, what is this crap? And they never like paid this game any attention. I did, thankfully, and this is actually one of the first games I got from my buddy Josh. Josh gave me a good deal on this a while back. This was back in 2013, I believe, and no, 14 actually. And I never regretted having this game. This game is awesome, and I try to tell more people about it. Me and Joel did a video about this years ago, talking about how cool this game was, and I talked him into getting it. Thank God he did get it. And it's just a really good platformer. It kind of takes elements from Sonic in a way, and a little bit more of action games in a way, like kind of like running and everything like that, little action parts and stuff like that, like stunt shit to try to get out of certain situations. But it has that platform element where you jump on enemies to attack them and everything like that. You have a little jump kick move that kind of connects sometimes, but not really, at least not for me. But it's a really good 2D game for the Genesis. They did a good job on it. You would think a game like this would be on the Super Nintendo, but it came out on the Genesis, so I'm good for that. So High Seas Havoc. And last but not least, we have Zeno Crisis. This is the latest release for the Sega Genesis, which is kind of crazy in this day and age. You think about a new Genesis game coming out, and this game, like, oh my god, this game is like, seriously, if this came out back when the Genesis was still like marketing games out there, this would have like won awards pretty much. This game is so freaking cool and badass. To get familiar with it, if you play top-down games like a Smash TV, you'll know what you're getting into with this one. But this one is just far beyond that. I mean, the developers did a good job on this, and it's just amazing to see a game like this come out on the Genesis this day and age. If you haven't played Zeno Crisis, do yourself a favor, pick this one up, man. It's definitely worth having on the Sega Genesis. So now, after talking about all these games, we are going to get into the collection. So let's take a look. Alright, first here is the Sega Genesis system, Model 1, 6-button controller, 3-button of course. Can't believe this thing is over 30 years old. And now looking at the games here, I've got FX Unit Yuki, platform shoot 'em up that you guys have seen on the channel before. Of course, Zeno Crisis, which we just talked about, Musha as well. Elysia Dragoon with more of a close-up of the alternate cover. Like I said, that cover just does the game justice, to be honest with you guys. The other cover just like looks more barbaric, kind of like Golden Axe here. The Golden Axe series, I have all of them. You guys know Joel from Media Glitch. He says his favorite one is Golden Axe 3. I don't know why he says that, but go talk to him on his channel and let him know that that's not a good choice. We also have Troubleshooter here, and then the sequel, Battle Mania Part 2, also known as Troubleshooter Vintage, Rocket Knight Adventures with its sequel Sparkster, which Rocket Knight Adventures is more of the polished game. Double Dragon, which was one of my first games on the Genesis back in the day. Double Dragon 2, then we have Double Dragon 3, which me and Joe did on an episode of Interracial Gamer back in the day. Valis, Seed of Valis, whatever you want to call it. We have Valis 3, Sonic the Hedgehog, not for resale. Sonic 2, not for resale. I think it's more rare to get the ones without the resale sign on them. Then there's Sonic 3, Sonic and Knuckles here. Ghouls and Ghosts, which I do like Ghouls and Ghosts, but I always was more of a fan of Super Ghouls and Ghosts. Mega Man, The Wily Wars, Mystic Defender. Joel also says that Spell Caster is a better game. I don't know why he says that. But then we have Outrun, Cheeky Cheeky Boys, also known as Mega Twins, Sunset Riders, Rystar, Rolling Thunder 1, well 2 and 3, not 1, and Fatal Fury 2. Double Dribble, the Playoff Edition, Road Blasters. I love that cover. That cover is just so retro right there. Magical Quest 2, which is also known as the Great Circus Mystery, Thunder Force 3, Lightning Force, which is Thunder Force 4. I don't know why they changed it to Lightning Force, but maybe it had to do with maybe the third game didn't sell as well. Steel Empire. We have a Super Fantasy Zone, which is a great game that a lot of people haven't played. Zero Wing, known for its bad intro translation. All our base art belong to us. Afterburner 2, Alien Storm, Contra Hardcore. I think that this game is, well, I don't want to go into that. I'll make that into another video. But Socket, let's see here. Oh, Cotton, just almost missed that one. Glay Lancer, Fix It Felix, Twinkle Tail, Bubble and Squeak, Nadia, The Secret of the Blue Water, which is an anime series that I own. DJ Boy. And that's gonna do. Wait, I forgot about Aleste 2 for Mega Master System. This is the prequel to Musha. But anyways, guys, that's gonna do it for this video, and I will see you later.